silence, don't like them, but I see you all the time. Fix it, silence, don't like them, but I see you all the time.
Hey everyone, so there is a topic that I have been wanting to discuss for a while, but I haven't really come to terms with it before, so I am like starting to finally come to terms with this specific topic, and I really wanted to talk about it today because it's just like, I don't know why, I just got like really passionate about it today. And that is the topic of tropes. So you're probably like, why would you need to come to term with tropes? Like, that seems so weird. Like, what are you talking about? But what I'm talking about specifically, like a specific trope, is the trope of love triangles. So in the booktube community, in the book community in general, love triangles, little love triangles like this, they are kind of like the #1 trope that a lot of people say is their least favorite trope, or it causes them not to like a book anymore, or it causes them not to like a ship or a series or whatever. And like, I don't want to say that it's villainized at all because like, it's just a trope, it's not that big of a deal. But it's kind of like the universal trope that everyone hates. So for a long time, I kind of like went with the status quo and hated love triangles with everyone else. I was like, oh, I hate love triangles. Yeah, those are so annoying when like authors put them in. And yeah, they're just like, I don't know why they're there. So for a long time, that's just kind of how I was with love triangles, and I kind of like denied the fact that I actually like them, like even to myself, like not just to other people. Like to me, I was always like, no, you don't really like love triangles. You just like certain love triangles. And that just doesn't mean that you like have to like all of them, which I mean, yeah, that's true. I don't have to like every love triangle. However, I had kind of convinced myself that I didn't like any love triangle, that all love triangles were bad, I hated all of them, and none of them were good, they made stories bad, and whatever. But then, I feel like I had a change of heart after I read Escaping from Houdini by Kerri Maniscalco, and in that book, there is a little love triangle. So I had been hearing that there was a love triangle in that book, and a lot of people really didn't like that, and I had kind of convinced myself that I wasn't going to like this book because other people didn't like it because there was a love triangle. So you can kind of see where my problem was, is that I had convinced myself because of other people, because I was listening to everyone else and like their preferences and their very valid preferences, and I was taking that and applying it to myself even though that wasn't really me. And I feel like this happens a lot in booktube, so that's kind of why I wanted to talk about it, is because I see a lot of people kind of projecting themselves onto other people's opinions or other people's preferences, and I see them kind of like change themselves for other people, like to fit into booktube. And that is something that I have done as well. Like, I'm definitely very guilty of that, for like trying to kind of fit in to booktube and fit into like the whole crowd and the culture in general, and that's something that I really want to work on with myself. Like, this has nothing to do with anyone else. Like, I'm not blaming anyone, I'm not saying that everyone made me do this, that it's booktube's fault, that it's everyone else's fault, it's not my fault. No, it is 100% my fault that I had tried to convince myself that I didn't like this thing because everyone else didn't like it. And it's like 100% valid for other people not to like a trope. Like, I'm not saying that like, oh, you shouldn't like this trope because this, that, and the other thing. I'm not trying to convince you of that. Like, you can dislike or like whatever trope you want. But me personally, I really like love triangles. Like, saying that is kind of like, wow, like that, I've never said that before, that like, I love triangles. So yeah, that sounds really weird. Like, oh my gosh, like she's, you know, relieved that she can say that she likes love triangles. That's super weird, but it's true. And I have been denying this for so long, and this seems like such a like a ridiculous video that it almost sounds like a coming out video. It's not that serious, it's not that big of a deal, but it's just like, I feel like this is speaking overall to like the whole culture in general. Like, this isn't to, like I said, it's not to put blame on anyone. I don't want people to think that I'm blaming anyone. This is, no one's to blame. This is literally just singular people, like, thinking that they have to fit in, even if they, like, even if deep down they know they don't have to try to fit in. Like, that's just ridiculous. But for some reason, it's just so subtle, and like, you start to feel like you have to do these things, or you have to believe these things, or you have to have these certain opinions to be in the book community, to be on BookTube, to be on Book Twitter, whatever. And that's just not true. Like, I feel like that's so ridiculous. Like, who's really going to like hate on you if you love triangles? Like, that's just like the most ridiculous thing to be hated on. And if that's like the one thing that I get hated on for, like, that's not that bad. Like, that's pretty good, right? That's a good thing. So going back to Escaping from Houdini, that did have a love triangle in it. And I actually quite enjoyed that love triangle. Like, I went in thinking that I wasn't going to like it. I was super nervous. I was like, I'm not gonna like this. Oh no, this is gonna be the one book out of the whole series that I'm going to rate lower than 5 stars. But in reality, I had nothing to worry about because I genuinely like love triangles. So personally, I feel like love triangles get a really bad rep in the book community. Like, it's the one trope that like so many people agree on to just hate. And I'm not sure that everyone actually hates love triangles. Like, I really want to know, like, does everyone genuinely hate love triangles? Or are a lot of them like me where they feel like they have to hate love triangles? So like, that's like my one question is like, is that a real thing, or is it just me? Or do other people feel like they have to hate certain tropes, especially love triangles, to kind of fit in and to not feel like embarrassed for liking something? Because let me tell you, I have felt super embarrassed for liking that trope, like, because people rag on it so hard, and you know, they try to give like all these points for why they hate it and why everyone else should hate it. And I'm just like, I love love triangles. I think they're great. I love Shatter Me. I loved the love triangle in Escaping from Houdini. You saying that there's a love triangle is not going to deter me anymore from reading a book and from liking it. Because I remember, like, I had finished Escaping from Houdini and I had like so much anxiety about trying to rate that book because I felt like I would be super embarrassed for rating it 5 stars. Even though I genuinely really enjoyed it and I thought it was beautiful and I loved the characters and I loved the love triangle and I loved all of like just every aspect of that book, I loved it so much, but I was like genuinely concerned that people would think that I was like a bad reviewer or a bad booktuber, or I wasn't critical enough or whatever, and I was like going to be embarrassed about it. And now I'm just like realizing that that is so ridiculous, and I should not be embarrassed for A, liking a book, B, liking love triangles, and C, like rating a book highly that I enjoyed. Like, that just, I don't know why that made me feel embarrassed. And I want to iterate that that is like not on anyone else, that's literally just on me. Like, no one made me feel uncomfortable. No one made me feel embarrassed. That was just me projecting my feelings onto everyone else and onto the situation when that didn't really need to happen. Like, there was no reason for that. So anyway, that was just my little rant that has been bubbling up inside of me all day long, and I've really wanted to get it out. And I feel like I said everything that I wanted to say, and if I didn't, then maybe I'll make another video about tropes. And you know, as I have a lot of opinions, and you probably know that, so you know, maybe I'll do another video in the future like more broadly about tropes and not just my love triangles. So if you guys enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel, and go ahead and follow all of my social media links down below, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!